Hey there, we are live from Midtown Comics Grand Central. I am Henry. It is a sensational Wednesday morning. Hello, and welcome to New Comic Book Day. It is a big week in the world of geekery. Of course, you see the shirt. You know what's coming out tomorrow. Star Wars Episode 8 will be hitting theaters, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited for some of the comics that we have here on the wall as well. There's a lot of great books. We're going to walk through, we're going to talk about them. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go through and let's talk about everything I see. So first off, we have X-Men Phoenix Endsong. This is the trade paperback collecting, of course, X-Men Phoenix Endsong. So if you guys are looking forward to Phoenix Resurrection, this was the last time we saw the Phoenix resurrecting Jean Grey. It was a few years back. It's Greg Pak, Greg Land, and it is a great book. I actually am a big fan. Happy to see it back in print. As we continue on, we have a trio of reprints, True Believers, Phoenix books, a bunch of cool stuff here. We've got the Phoenix Bizarre Adventures, Phoenix Classic, and Phoenix Returns, and these are really cool. They're really fun. They're only $1, so if you're looking forward to the return of Jean Grey in a couple weeks, check them out. This one's really fun because that's actually when Jean first ever reappeared after the whole Phoenix nonsense, so that one's my personal recommendation. So some cool stuff. Now, before we continue with the rest of the wall, we'll go up top and we'll talk about some of the cool graphic novels that we have here. First off, we have the second Thor hardcover from Jason Aaron Russell Dodderman. This is, of course, focusing on Jane Foster in the title. And, yep, this is the post-Secret Wars stuff. So this is really good stuff. This is actually where I jumped onto the title because I did miss out on that early stuff, and then I went back and backtracked. Great stuff there. Then we also have the Rocket trade paperback from a couple months back with Al Ewing and Adam Gorham on art. Really cool. If you want a completely different take on Rocket Raccoon, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Then we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe guidebook. Now, these are a bunch of different books focusing on a bunch of different things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you're a movie fan, which of course you got to be a movie fan, check it out to find out some cool stuff you didn't already know. Then we have The Defenders, Volume 1. This is from, of course, Brian Michael Bendis and David Marquez. Diamonds Are Forever, because Diamondback is back, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really great book. It's actually one of my favorite books Bendis has done these last few years. It's really great, and David Marquez's art is through the roof. A high recommendation from myself. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 4 by Brian Michael Bendis. He's everywhere. Valerio Schiti on art. Some really cool stuff here. If you want to see the conclusion of Brian Michael Bendis' Guardians of the Galaxy epic, check this out. It's got a lot of really great stuff. Then as we continue, we have the trade paperback edition of The Clone Conspiracy. Clone Conspiracy, of course, rocked the comic book world last year. A lot of great stories there, Dan Slott and Jim Chung, and it really is worthwhile. Now it's available in trade paperback for the first time ever, just in time for the holidays, so pick it up if you haven't already done so before. Then we have the second volume of The Champions, The Freelancer Lifestyle from Mark Waid and Humberto Ramos. There's some really good stories here. Of course, Champions is a really cool book. Been really enjoying it, and that has a lot of the Secret Empire stuff going on, so it is definitely worth your time. Then we also have the second hardcover edition, oversized, super cool hardcover edition of Black Science from Rick Remender and Matteo Scalera. It is a very cool book if you are looking for a fun indie series. Now we're going to bring it back down, and we've got a whole bunch of X-Men books right in front of us. First off, we have the brand new issue of X-Men Blue. This is issue number 17, but what's that? 2099. That's right. The X-Men 2099 are back, and that's awesome. Really cool. I've loved all of the crazy stuff from X-Men past and present that has been roped into this series. Cullen Bunn's been doing a great job, and it's awesome to see the X-Men from the future, the 2099 timeline, being brought back into the books. Definitely worth checking out. Then we have one of the coolest releases, I think, of this week. All New Wolverine, issue number 28 from Juan Cabal, and, of course, Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor has been on All New Wolverine for a couple years, and he's really told some great stories with Laura and with Gabby. And in this issue, we get to see the Orphans of X storyline really have some major ramifications for their lives. But more importantly, Gabby gets a code name. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's really cool because she's needed the code name for a while now, and I'm very happy that she has one, and it's totally appropriate. And she's got a bright future ahead of her, as X-Men Red will be starting in just a couple months with both Laura as Wolverine and Gabby as, I'm not going to tell you. Then we have the brand new issue of Weapon X Nuclear War. Very cool storyline. It's Greg Pak in the driver's seat with Yolanda Sinar on art. And this is great. There's a couple different covers here. I'm a big fan of this lenticular homage to the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X series of old. Get a nice little lenticular action there for you. And this is really cool. If you guys haven't been checking out Weapon X, this is a great point to jump on. And they're fighting off against Nuke. Nuke is one of those classic Wolverine villains, sometimes a Captain America villain, and he's great and he's really cool. And here we get to see a whole Nuke platoon in a whole new direction that I didn't think I would ever see, and it's awesome and definitely worth checking out. Now, as we continue on, of course, we have the brand new issue of Star Wars from Jason Aaron and Salvador LaRocca. If you guys have been reading Star Wars, you know that this book is one of the coolest books that Marvel is putting out. And of course, it is honoring the legacy of the films, playing with the original trilogy, which is really great. And in this issue, we actually get to see a fun little moment with Princess Leia as she reflects on her father, Bail Organa. So we kind of get that little bit of a hybrid, you know, prequels and original trilogy moment. And it's a good book. Check it out. If you are a fan of Star Wars, of course you're a fan of Star Wars, pick up the book. They're really great. Then we also have the brand new issue of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, issue number 27. Check out this amazing lenticular. This is one of my favorite lenticulars because this is really funny and really weird to see Squirrel Girl as Galactus. But of course, that actually does tie into the storyline as Ryan North and Erica Henderson bring Squirrel Girl into the cosmic realm. And, you know, a while back they faced off against Galactus. And, I mean, it's Squirrel Girl versus Galactus. You would think that'd be pretty one-sided. But you know what? Squirrel Girl's unbeatable. And now an entire alien people need her help to save them. So check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's really hilarious, actually. I love the squirrels in there. Then we've got the trade paperback edition of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man Into the Twilight. Some really great stuff here. Chip Zdarsky and Adam Kubert and Michael Walsh as well. A really great book. If you guys haven't been reading Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, it is a great way to jump into the Spider-Man franchise. Maybe you're intimidated by how long Dan Slott's been on his book. Okay, I get that. You know, I feel that. Check this out. It's a brand new start, and it is definitely worthwhile. Moving on, we've got a whole different kind of spider with Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, issue number 11. It's Peter David, and he's been doing a great job, of course, bringing in the slingers. And you can see him right here. We've got Ricochet throwing off some, you know, ricochets at Scarlet Spider. And it is a really cool book. It is great. Peter David, of course, has a long history with the Spider-Man family, and he's doing a great job on this book. Now, as we move on, we've got one of the hot books for the week, and I mean hot. I mean, we're already sold out online, so if you want this book, you better get to the stores fast because Venom Inc. Part 2 unfolds in Amazing Spider-Man 792. So if you guys read the Venom Inc. special last week, you already know this story is like crazy because it's got all kinds of stuff. But if you guys look at the cover, you'll see something crazy. We've got my man Venom. All right, cool. We got Spider-Man. And is that a brand new anti-Venom? That's right. You heard it here. Check this book out. It is awesome, and it's everything you could want from a Spider-Man book. It's really cool. It's honestly really awesome. Ryan Stegman, Dan Slott. Those are two creators with amazing bibliographies. Then we have the brand new issue of She-Hulk, issue number 160 from Mariko Tamaki. And a couple different covers here. I'm going to show off that Ben Cadwell cover, which, once again, we're already sold out online because this cover is so awesome. Actually, I love that cover because I love Ben Cadwell's art. But I love this book as well because now we're seeing Jen Walters put through crazy circumstances with the leader who is, of course, kidnapping her and trying to, you know, do his crazy schemes because it's the leader and he's always got some kind of crazy scheme. And it's awesome, and it's a really good throwback vibe to classic Hulk stories, but, of course, with that Jen Walters flavor we all know and love. Now, as we move on, we have the brand new issue of Secret Warriors, issue number 10 versus Mr. Sinister. So Matt Rosenberg and Javier Garron are doing a great job. You'll see here right on this cover that Mr. Sinister clearly has his eyes set on abducting these various inhuman and, in the case of magic, mutant menaces. And it's great. It's really cool. Matt Rosenberg's got a great handle on the characters. And, you know, Mr. Sinister. Who doesn't love Mr. Sinister? Now, moving on, we've got issue number 4 of The Runaways from Rainbow Rowell and Chris Anka. This book has been really great. I love this cover because it's really cute and it's fun little yearbook reference. I also love Chris Anka's art. Maybe let's flip through here and let's show off some of the art because I'm a big fan. Whoa! That's an opening page for you. How about that? You know, imagine walking home one day and you just have a head on your desk. You know, that's a rough day. And for the Runaways, things are definitely going crazy, off the rails. And, you know, if you guys have been reading the book, you obviously know whose head that is. That's not a huge, reveal, but it is a huge part of the story, and it's really cool. Then we have the brand new issue of Royals from Al Ewing, of course, focusing on the Inhuman royal family. There's been some crazy stuff going on with them lately. And here you can see Flint is completely out of control and upside down. And it's just nonsense, but it's like the great kind of nonsense where you're like, this is why I love comics. This is the kind of high concept crazy that I am a huge fan of, and I'm a huge fan of what Al Ewing is doing with Royals. Then as we continue on, we've got Punisher. We've got the Sanford Green cover with the Phoenix Force bursting out of him. But what I love right here is that the Punisher right now is piloting the War Machine armor. And that is like the craziest thing that never needed to happen, because that is a really scary thing to do to the Marvel Universe. You don't give the Punisher the biggest gun possible. When you give him the big gun, people die. And that's kind of, you know, I guess that's the hook of this book, but it's awesome. It's actually really cool, and Matt's coming at it from a character perspective, so if you're worried that it's just like some big crazy thing of complete nonsense that doesn't make sense to the character, no, it totally does. It's actually really cool. Good job. An awesome book, so check it out. Then as we move on, we have the trade paperback collection, Volume 8 of Miss Marvel from G. Willow Wilson. She's been doing a great job with the series. Kamala Khan is one of the premier young heroines of the Marvel Universe, and she has been for a number of years, thanks to Wilson. Check this book out. It is a lot of fun. There's 8 volumes. They're all awesome. They're all by Wilson. They're all worth picking up. Come by, pick them up, buy them for your kids for the holidays. They're going to love them. Now we're going to bump up, and we're going to talk about a couple cool collections that are out. We've got There's Nothing There. Really cool, really pretty book from Black Mask. Then we also have Motor Girl, Volume 2 from Terry Moore. Some really cool stuff. And then we've got a sketchbook from Terry Moore as well, who has done so many cool books over the years. We also have the second volume of Sons of Anarchy Redwood Original. And then we've got Skull Island, The Birth of Kong. This is really cool if you guys are a fan of the King Kong franchise. There's some great stuff there for you to enjoy. And then we also have, for more monkey shenanigans, we've got the Planet of the Apes Archives, Volume 2. Beast on the Planet of the Apes, some cool classic stuff there. Then we have Kim and Kim, Volume 2, Love is a Battlefield. Great series from Black Mask. And then we have Jazz Maynard, Volume 1, the Barcelona Trilogy. Very pretty, very nicely put together book from Lion Forge. You know, they make some nice looking books there. We also have Faith and the Future Force from Valiant. Now, this is a mini-series, so you'll see no volume number off on the side here, but it is a great opportunity to check out Faith, who has been one of the most popular characters at Valiant these last couple years, and it is a really fun book. If you haven't checked it out, Jodie Hauser does a great job with the character, and she's been writing her for a couple years now and really doing a fantastic job. Please check out Faith and the Future Force. Then we also have the Dracula File from the pages of Scream. Some cool stuff, and we have the book with no name. We've got Ancient Dreams, Volume 1. Of course, Ancient Dreams, they do that really subtle logo over there. Really cool stuff there, though. So, yeah. Then we're going to bring it back down and talk about a couple more new releases. We've got Jean Grey issue number 10, Psych Wars. Things have been crazy Dennis Hopeless is rocking it. This book has been so great, and I am absolutely adoring everything that happens in it. You'll see this cover has got everybody you could want. You've got Jean Grey, you've got Quentin Quire, you've got Hope, who I love Hope because, you know, she's like awesome. And then we've got the Stepford Cuckoos, which is great because they've been everywhere lately, it seems, doing some really cool stuff here. And check out their comic book incarnation if you've been watching The Gifted, and check this out. It's awesome. Then we have the Marvel Masterworks Fantastic Four. This is volume 19, or if you would like, it's volume 253. Of course, I do 2 different editions, so if you want to have just the Fantastic Four library, it could be number 19, but if you want to have a Marvel Universe library, if you want to watch the Marvel Universe explode over time and grow, volume 253. That's crazy. That's awesome, though. That's really cool. Classic Tales, issues 200 through 218 from some amazing talents like Marv Wolfman and John Byrne. Then we also have Falcon, issue number 3. Take Flight's the name of the story, and of course, because it's Falcon's kind of embarking on a new journey, a new direction after being the former Captain America. Some great stuff. Rodney Barnes has been really doing a great job, and I've been enjoying the tale as he faces off against Blackheart, and I would not have ever expected to see Falcon facing off against an actual demon, but it's kind of the coolest thing, so check it out. Then we have Despicable Deadpool issue 290, and the least subtle cover I've probably literally ever seen ever. This issue, Cable dies. You know what? If you were reading last issue, you know things are actually kind of at that point right now. You know things aren't looking particularly great for, everybody's favorite one-armed time traveler. And this has been a really cool series. Jared Dugan's been doing a great job. Scott Koblish on art. It's a lot of fun, and it is definitely a worthwhile read if you just want to see some crazy, off-the-walls action. Check out Despicable Deadpool. It's been great. Deadpool Kills Cable is an awesome story. Then we move on, and we've got Daredevil issue 596 from Charles Soule. Been doing a cool job on Daredevil for a while now, and a couple different great covers here. Really digging the Phoenix cover for that, and it is a cool book if you're a fan of, everybody's favorite vigilante from Hell's Kitchen. So if he's your favorite too, pick up his book. It's great. Charles Soule's been doing a really good job on it. And then Cable appears in his own book in Cable issue 152. Well, it's been crazy. There's some awesome stuff going on here, and this is a really fun cover with, of course, a marionette, appearance for Cable as who pulls the strings. Well, that's the thing. This whole story has been about people manipulating everybody, and things are going kind of crazy, and the externals are involved, and now we get to see a classic villain, reappearing, and, I'm talking really fast for comedic effect, but the book is actually really great and definitely worth checking out. Ed Brisson's doing a great job and really expanding on classic X-Men lore, which I think is really cool and some of the most interesting stuff in all of comics. Now we continue on and we go to the world of Valiant with Bloodshot Salvation, issue number 4. There's a couple different covers here. I'll show them off real quick. And there's been some crazy stuff in the Bloodshot Salvation book. If you guys haven't been reading it, if you never read a Valiant book, check out Bloodshot Salvation. It's only on issue 4, and it's got decapitated guys on the cover. So, that's awesome. Actually, this cover is super cool, but man, is that gruesome. This book is awesome, though. If you haven't been reading it, it's Jeff Lemire, and he's really doing a great job, and Miko Sayan's art is gorgeous. There's some really great stuff going on in the book, and it's awesome. It's actually really cool. Check out Bloodshot Salvation, and then if you want, read Bloodshot Reborn. Lemire did that too. Really good stuff. Then we have some great books from Image, and we start off with issue number 7 of Youngblood. Of course, the classic Image title being relaunched for modern age. Some very cool stuff from Chad Bowers. Then we have The Wicked and the Divine Christmas special. So this is really fun. It's Christmas annual. There's this cover, which is very fun, but definitely alludes to what's inside the pages of the book. We got a cute Christmas sweater one. But, yeah, so this book, okay, so this cover is probably not like, this is pretty indicative of what's going on in the book. This is like the super not safe for work book, so do not hand this to the kids. But do check it out because it's really fun, and it focuses on some fun tales with some characters that we haven't seen in a while. It's a bit of a flashback tale, and it is great, and it's really good, and it's got a bunch of different creators on it. So it's not just Jamie McKelvey's art. It's a whole bunch of different people, and definitely worth reading. Then we have the third issue of Slots from Dan Panosian. Really cool book if you like seeing some cool, gritty stories. Check out Slots. And then we have the relaunch of Rumble this week. So Rumble has been, of course, going for a while now with John Arcudi, and now we are joined by David Rubin on art. This is a cool Mike Mignola cover here, but David Rubin, of course, has been doing the art for Black Hammer in the past, so it's really cool to see him jumping over to Rumble and doing some great stuff as we have a new jumping on point. So if you guys haven't ever checked out Rumble and you guys have heard the rumblings about the book, check it out because it really is worth your time. Then we have the brand new issue of Royal City, issue number 8. We've got a couple different covers here. Some great stuff. Once again, it's Jeff Lemire, and Jeff Lemire just tells some of the best stories in all of comics. And I am a big fan of when he does stuff like this that really is character-centric. So check it out if you want to be, brought on a tale of discovery. Then we have issue number 4 of Retcon, a cool series from Matt Nixon and Toby Cypress. And then we have issue number 2 of Port of Earth from Zach Kaplan and Andrea Moody. Some really cool stuff here. I believe there's another cover. There is another cover. Haha. I was worried we didn't have it. But some cool stuff here, of course, about an alien port in, off of the side of Earth. Some cool stuff. Then we have issue number 3 of Maestros from Steve Scrooge and Dave Stewart. And it's pretty. It's cool. It's awesome. It's so awesome. We've even got a second printing of the last issue. And the first issue had a couple printings as well. So get on this book because it's going to be gone before you know it because they keep having to reprint the book because it keeps flying off the shelves. So it's clearly got a mark of quality. Then we also have the brand new issue of Kingsman, the Red Diamond from Rob Williams and Simon Fraser. Some cool stuff. And a book that I am a big fan of, and I keep saying his name because they're always good. Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, Descender. This is a nice hardcover edition. Just look at how pretty and clean that presentation is. This is just a pretty book. It is awesome. Dustin Nguyen has done some really great art over the years on a variety of different titles, but now he's taken his talent to space and drawn just the craziest stuff you'll ever see. They're working on adapting this into a television series, and it's really awesome, and there's great stuff, and it's Jeff Lemire, and I love Lemire. I love Lemire. Like, he's one of my favorite writers in all of comics, and I really dig what's going on in this. I can't tell you everything, because if I do, it'll ruin the fun. But check it out. It's space robots. It's great. Then we also have the second issue of Coyotes from Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky. Of course, you guys will remember Caitlin Yarsky and Sean Lewis came by a while back to talk about the book because it is so great. It is so fantastic, and you guys should check it out because it's got some cool horror vibes to it and this really disgusting cover where you're literally plucking out somebody's eye, and any book that has somebody's eye being plucked out on the cover has me terrified for what's going to happen inside the pages. So it's pretty cool. Then we have the triple feature from Bitch Planet. Book 1. These are, of course, side stories set in the universe of Bitch Planet. Some really cool stuff here if you're a fan of that series. And then we hit IDW, and we've got Kid Lobotomy, issue number 3. A lot of fun there. And Back to the Future, issue number 25, Time Served, part 4. Of course, the Back to the Future book has been going for a couple years now. It started around the time of the... It started in 2015 when they were celebrating the anniversary of Back to the Future 2, doing the whole meta thing. And the book has been great. It's really been a great ride. If you are a fan of the series of Back to the Future, the movies, check out the comic book because it really feels exactly like the movies, just never stopped. And it's awesome. Now we do hit DC, and it is a mammoth week for DC. And we start off with issue 3 of Michael Cray from the Wildstorm imprint. Some cool stuff going on here from Brian Hill with Warren Ellis, of course, overseeing the whole thing because the Wildstorm universe is kind of his baby now. Then we move on, and we've got Wonder Woman issue number 36 from James Robinson and Carlos Pagulayan. Some great stuff here. A couple different covers. We've got a nice cover there from Brian Hitch, and then I love this Jennifer Eisen cover because it's got, it just works. Sometimes you just look at a cover and it works, and you don't have to explain it, and that is definitely one of those cases. It's a great book if you want to check out Wonder Woman, picking up some of the plot threads from the Darkseid Wars storyline a couple years back. Some crazy stuff going on here, building into the mythology of the DC universe. Then we have the brand new issue of Titans, issue number 18, and the traitor in the midst has been revealed, and it's some crazy stuff going on with Donna Troy, or Troya, as it were, and it's really awesome. It is really cool. If you're a fan of Donna Troy is a great character, and it is a great book. Dan Abnett and Brett Booth have been doing a great job on the series since day one, never missing a step, and I am really a big fan of what they've created with this new Titans book. We move on and we hit issue number 17 of Superwoman. Some cool stuff here going on as we see Lana Lang is not looking particularly happy. And I mean, can you blame her? I mean, you got all these mechanical claws driving into your body. That's not a good way to spend your Wednesday. But if you're reading about it, that is a good way to spend your Wednesday. Then we move on and we have issue number 16 of Supergirl, and we got a couple different covers here, but of course my eye is naturally drawn to the gorgeous smile on the Stanley Lau Art Germ cover. Some great stuff here with Steve Orlando and now Jody Houser working on the book as well, and you heard me talking about her on Faith, so you know that Jody Houser has a history of doing some great stuff, and Steve Orlando has been doing a great job since day one on the title of Supergirl. Some really cool stuff here. If you're a fan of the TV series, check out the book because it is definitely worth your time. Now we are going to take a bump up top, and we're going to talk about some of the collected editions hitting stands. We've got Star Trek Boldly Go, Volume 2, of course, based on the newer trilogy of movies we've seen these last, decade or so. Then we've got Mask, the Mobile Armored Strike Command, Volume 2. If you're a fan of the classic 80s cartoon series, some good stuff there from IDW. And then we've got Judge Dredd, The Blessed Earth. Some great stuff. This is Volume 1, so if you're a fan of Judge Dredd, but maybe you like the movies or you like the concept, but you never checked it out, check out Blessed Earth. It is a great way to jump in. We also have the Real Science Adventures spinning out of Atomic Robo, the Flying She-Devils, in Raid on Marauder Island. What a great name. That's great. I feel like that should be on an old film reel. That's really cool. Then we also have the new volume of Astro City, Ordinary Heroes from Kirk Busiek. And we have Trinity Volume 2, Dead Space, which deals with the Justice League, as you can see on this nice Francis Manapul cover here. And we get to see a bit of a bigger scale for the Trinity. And we also have the first volume in trade paperback form, Volume 1, Better Together. Oh, that's such a sweet sentiment. And it's such a cool book. Really some great stuff here. Francis Manapul and Emanuela Lupacino do some great work alongside Clayman, and it is definitely something you'd want to check out. Now, if you want to get that classic old school feel, though, you got to go right here. This is the JSA, and this is Jeff Johns. And this is one of the building blocks of what would become the DC Universe. This is Jeff Johns basically writing a love letter to the DC Universe, doing some great stuff here. And you'll see a couple other names on here you'll recognize. And it is a great book. It really built up Jeff Johns' name. Of course, now he's one of the guys that runs the company. But this is where he started to get his start in DC and really build up a great world, and it's awesome. And he was on JSA for years and years and years, and you can start the journey right here with the new printing of Volume 1. Then we also have Death of the Family, not in, but of, Unwrapped by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo with James Tynion IV and Jock, which is really cool because that means they included all the backup features. This story was really cool, really twisted. Of course, everybody knows it now, because Death of the Family was so awesome and so cool and so twisted, like I just said. It really is awesome, and now you get to see all the art as it was originally presented from Greg Capullo, who really does a great job here. We also have some classic EC books with Panic from the EC archives. And then we've got a whole slew of books here. So we've got Toyetica Volume 1. We've got Star Wars Rogue One, a graphic novel adaptation. So if you're, looking for something to hand off to the kids Rogue One's got some darker elements. So maybe it's a good idea to go with the book. Some cool stuff there. Then we also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Robot Animals, some great stuff there. And we also have Misfit City, Volume 1. It is a new book from Boombox, and it is definitely a lot of fun. Really cool stuff. Boombox, Boom in general, they make really cool books. Then we also have My Little Pony, Friends Forever, the Omnibus Edition, Volume 3. We've got Grumpy Cat and Garfield, which is awesome and hilarious because, I mean, it's Grumpy Cat and it's Garfield. Who doesn't love Garfield, you know? And then we have Catboy, which that looks adorable. I really love that. That looks so cute. From Silver Sprocket and Benji Nate. And then we have Brave Chef Brianna. And this is, once again, another one of those really fun books that is actually from Kaboom. Some great stuff there. Boom, just in general, has so many cool things going on, and it is worth checking out. Now, bringing it back down, we've got Suicide Squad issue number 31 from Rob Williams. And, I mean, things don't look good for them. Those are dead skeletons floating through space. That's not a good look. You know, people don't normally come back from that. But they're called the Suicide Squad for a reason. They take on the mission. Nobody else will. And this adventure has seen them go to the farthest reaches of space and unearth some crazy history for the team. And it's been really cool. Show off the alternative cover there from Will Portaccio as well. It's been a really good ride and really cool. And I'm really curious to see who makes it out. Then we have the brand new issue of Scooby Apocalypse. A couple different covers here. Show off this one, the Carlo Dionda one. But I do actually really love this right here because this book has been so cool, and we get to see a nice little, almost like a Christmas tale with Scooby Apocalypse. But, you know, it's not like Christmas is heartwarming when the Earth is, like, dead-ish. So, you know, still bleak, still cool, still awesome. Issue number 20. Check it out. Then we have Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 17 from Scott Lobdell and Dexter Soy. And this cover you're looking at right here, the Gilliam March cover, we're already sold out online, so you got to come by and pick it up in store. But we do have this very cool Mike McCone cover as well. If you guys have been reading Red Hood and the Outlaws, you know that it's a great story for the team, and it's been really cool. Scott Lobdell's got such a great handle on these characters, and it is definitely worth checking out. We also have the brand new issue of Ragman, a 6-issue miniseries, as it'll tell you right there on the cover. Really cool stuff from Ray Fox. And then we have the brand new issue of New Superman. And once again, we've got one of those covers that just flew off the shelves online. So we're already sold out online. But come by and pick it up because I love that Bernard Chang art myself. Because, of course, it's Superman and Superman Racing. So that's awesome. And the book has been awesome as we get ready for the book to become New Superman and the Justice League of China in the coming months. Really curious to see what role the Justice League of China is going to play in this current storyline that gets them that top billing. Now we move on, and we've got, of course, one of the most critically acclaimed books of the year, the brand new issue of Mr. Miracle, issue number 5 from Tom King and Mitch Gerads. If you have not been checking out Mr. Miracle, well, you're just crazy. You are just missing out on one of the coolest books that DC has been putting out. It's got all these great themes, but it's also got all the great action that you could want. Mitch Gerads has been doing a great job on the art, and one of the things that really makes this book cool, let's just flip it open to a random page, because there it is. It's that 9-panel grid, but it really is actually quite captivating because, you know, it allows them to put so much into every page, into every issue of this story, and the book has been great. Really cool stuff here. Really actually love this very romantic cover between Mr. Miracle and Barda there, and it's been a great ride. Check it out. It's got all your existentialism that you could want in it. And then we have the brand new issue of Justice League of America. Really cool cover there by Doug Mankey, and we've got the Carlos Dionda cover as well. Steve Orlando's been doing a great job, and it's Prometheus facing off, or Prometheus facing off against, you know, the entire Justice League, and Vixen is defeated, and the Atom is defeated, and Black Canary is defeated, and Lobo is decapitated. So, it's going to be a rough issue, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Then we've got the DC Universe by John Byrne collected in a hardcover edition, as well as Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. A couple different covers here that are really cool. Really dig that Francis Manapul cover, and it's been a great job. Robert Venditti, 10 out of 10. Great. Would read again. You know, it's really been a great series. Issue number 34. Wow. Awesome stuff there. Then we have Gotham City Garage, and it is a new issue, and it is issue number 5. It's been really cool, and, you know, I love Gilliam March's on all these covers now. It's kind of awesome. I love Gilliam March's art, so it's awesome, really cool and expressive, and the book is really cool. Then we move on, and we've got my personal favorite, my book of the week, my favorite, is The Flash, issue number 36, Joshua Williamson, and Howard Porter is back on art, which is awesome, and it's also awesome because we got Barry Kitson on covers now, so that's super cool. But what's that, Flash? A rogue is dead, and one of you killed him. Things are going down in the world of the Flash, and there is literally a death in like the first like 3 pages of this book, I think it is, and it's awesome. And I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but if you guys are Flash fans, you'll immediately, you'll feel a little thump in your heart. You'll feel the impact. And this book is great, and I'm a huge Captain Cold fanatic, so I'm super excited to see what happens with Captain Cold and with all of the rogues in this storyline, because it looks like they're really going to be raising the stakes and doing some crazy stuff here, and I am all for it. Then we have the brand new issue of Detective Comics, issue 970. Some really cool stuff here, and I'm so repetitive, but there's Gilliam March on a cover again. He's just got so many cool covers, and we also have the nice cover from Raphael Albuquerque. Some great stuff here. James Tynion's been doing a really good job on the series, and now we get to see the return of the Victim Syndicate, who you guys will remember appeared in the book a few months back and had some really devastating impact on the characters in Detective, on the team. And we actually lost a member of the team as a result of the Victim Syndicate last time. And now they're back, and they're stronger than ever. And it's not going to be good for anybody because it's never good. They're called the Victim Syndicate. That's not a nice name. You don't take the Victim Syndicate home to meet your mom. You don't invite them for Christmas. You run from them. So, cool stuff, though. Then we have the brand new issue and the final issue of Bug, The Adventures of Forger, from the Allred family. Mike Allred, Lee Allred, Laura Allred, and it is all amazing. This book has been so great. I'm a big fan of the Fourth World concepts originally created by Jack Kirby, and I've loved seeing how the Allreds have handled them and really done a great job. You'll see some cool stuff in this book. I guarantee it. Please check it out. It is awesome. Then we have Batman Who Laughs, Dark Knight's Metal tie-in. This is a reprinted edition. Really cool. I actually really like the way they did the logo treatment there. Really cool stuff. Also, probably like the most messed up out of all of the Batman tie-ins for Metal. This is awesome, though, and it's one shot. You just read the one thing. You get really depressed. You rethink your life choices. You're happy that you don't live in the world of this awful, awful human being, and, you move on with your day. But it's really cool. Then we also have Batman Volume 4, The War of Jokes and Riddles, Tom King, Mikkel Janin, Jun Chung, and Clay Mann. Some great stuff here. This was, of course, the big summer epic unfolding in Batman. Some great stuff. This is collecting issues 25 through, I believe, 32. I was right. But through issue number 32, and there's some great stuff. And honestly, the emotional payoff at the end is awesome. But Kite Man is like one of my favorite villains of the year, one of my favorite characters of the year. And in 2017, I am saying that Kite Man is one of my favorite characters of the year. That in no year should ever be said. But because of what Tom King does with him in this book, it's great. It's really awesome. I wish I could tell you otherwise. But, dude, Kite Man, hell yeah. That's all you got to say. So check it out. Then we've got the brand new issue of Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, issue number 17. A couple different covers here. I'm a big fan of the Yannick Paquette cover myself, and I'm a fan of the book as we get to see the Birds of Prey doing some crazy stuff. A plague on Gotham's houses. Things aren't going to look too great when you've got all these guys in the plague doctor's masks in the background. It's very nefarious, very scheming, very cool, honestly. It's a cool book. Then we have another book that I'm super in love with, Action Comics, issue number 993. And why, you may ask? Why, Henry, are you excited for Action Comics? Because Booster Gold is back. Booster Gold is in a comic book, and I am so happy because I love Booster Gold, because Booster Gold is awesome. And Dan Jurgens, of course, is the creator of the character, so it's awesome that he gets to play with his old toy. And it's really cool, really great. I love the Francis Manapul cover over here, but I'm honestly just super excited because, of course, not only do we get Booster Gold back, but we get Dan Jurgens on art as well, and that is a real treat. That is a real delight, because we get the whole team that you would want on this book. If you guys read the Booster Gold book from a few years back, you know that Jurgens is really quite fond of the character, and I'm quite fond as well. I'm gushing, but it's great, and it's a really good read, so check it out if you want to read one of the coolest Superman stories I've read in a while. Check out Action Comics. Then we have a trade paperback of Lobster Johnson, the Pirates, Ghost, and Metal Monsters of Midtown. Hey, we're not metal monsters. How could you say that about us? But really, it is a lot of fun from the pages of Hellboy, Mike Mignola, and John Arcudi, who, of course, you guys heard me mention because he's on that Rumble book. He's done some really great stuff, and check out Lobster Johnson. Then we have the second volume of Lady Killer, and this cover is awesome because, of course, it features the magnificent art of Joelle Jones, who really does some great stuff. Recently did a few issues of Batman as well, but you got to check out Lady Killer if you want to see some really cool stories. Then closing us off, Dark Horse has a couple really cool books. We've got the brand new issue of Jenny Finn, issue number 2. We also have the brand new issue of Harrow County from Cullen Bunn and Tyler Crook, issue number 28. Plus, we have the brand new issue of Halo for all the gamers out there, Halo Rise of Aatrox. And we have a brand new series with Giants, a monstrous first issue. What a fun little play on words there. Really cool new series from Dark Horse. And a series ending, we have Aliens Dead Orbit, issue number 4 from James Stocco. And his art is crazy. And I trust, he's one of those artists I could just open to a random page, and the art is awesome. Because his art is so cool. And the book is so cool. And I'm a big fan. And I really like what they've done with the franchise. So there's some great stuff. And it's a great week, of course. I am very excited because Star Wars comes out this week. And so I've already got my tickets. Hopefully you guys have your tickets too. Don't spoil it, because if you do, you're a bad person. Shame on you. But really, come by, pick up some comics, be a good person. Instead of being a bad person, be a good person. Come by, say hi to your friends at Midtown, pick up some great books, because it really is a magnificent week in the world of comics. There's so many great books. There's Star Wars, there's Spider-Man, there's Flash, there's Aliens. It's everything you could want. And we have it all here. So come by, have some fun, and we'll see you guys soon.